Hello again. So I'm gonna record a video now, and I don't need an intro because who the fuck needs one? And now we continue our story with Deku still sleeping in the mountain over every single arc in My Hero Academia except the war arc. Yes, Deku wakes up straight up in the middle of the war arc, then destroys the mountain, running straight through everything, and then finding the one of the buildings being crumpled. Well, all the buildings that he sees when he's running getting crumpled. He leaps over all of the buildings, and then Shigaraki appears right next to Deku, and then Deku just, pimp punches him in the face, grabbing his leg, throwing him into a recently decayed building. Obviously, it's dust, so a cloud happens, and so Shigaraki tries to get Deku with his hand, but Deku just parries it, grabs him by the arm, and snaps it, and then rapidly kicks him in the face. But what happens is Shigaraki starts biting on Deku's foot, and then Deku screams in pain because he bit so freaking vigorously with a quirk that elongates his teeth into Deku's, feet. So Deku screams in pain and then rapidly punches Shigaraki's in the mouth. Well, obviously Shigaraki's head goes kabooey, and then it regenerates, and Deku is falling to the ground, since he can't fly. So Shigaraki tries to throw he tries throwing some, he tries shooting the black tendrils, but Deku just breaks all of them with his rock smashing fist, and then falls straight into the ground, and then he just sprints away. And Shigaraki starts chasing after him until, Endeavor intercepts Shigaraki, and then pummels him, and then starts getting pummeled until Deku sees him, and then says, "The scar's new," and then he runs right back in with a freaking car, chucks it at Shigaraki, and Endeavor dodges the car, but Shigaraki just destroys the car, but Deku's right in front of him, hitting him with a eagle slamming fist because he's in the sky. And then he just starts punching Deku rapidly in the face. Shigaraki rapidly every single way in his body. And Deku will not stop until Shigaraki submits. Until Shigaraki doesn't submit, freaking hits him with the, a key blast, key energy. Then you use the key blast to, key aura, basically, to shoot Deku off. Endeavor catches him because he's a hero and he will save a person if they're about to get slammed into something. So Deku, surprisingly not actually hitting Endeavor, saying thanks, and then bounces straight off, just kicks off Endeavor's gut, which he spits out some spit, but Endeavor just assumes that the guy likes fighting, so they start teaming up. If you want, obviously you know why Endeavor doesn't see it's Deku, because he looks completely different to when Endeavor fought him. All Might fought him, turned him into this, and now, well, then Endeavor and Deku start tag teaming Shigaraki. Obviously, Endeavor being more of a support role, and Deku being the more, I can tank an attack, so leave this to me. So, he keeps hitting with every type of rock smashing fist. Even a cool little parry attack, and then he slams into Shigaraki's gut, extracting organs, trying to strangle Shigaraki with his own organs, because that's one of his strategies. Until Shigaraki grabs Deku's leg and just tears out his own organs off Deku's hands, and then just shocks him to the ground, slamming him into the ground. And then Endeavor, a bit disgusted by Shigaraki's organs being his entrails being hanging out, Shigaraki appears behind Endeavor, about to wrap his own organs around Endeavor, until Deku immediately jumps in front of this, slamming Endeavor down, and then himself getting freaking strangulated. But of course, Deku just cuts his Shigaraki's organs. Of course, Shigaraki starts to heal them in, so he heals his organs to the organ that just got cut, and then he heals back up, and Deku just fricks him up, easy, because he's too strong. Deku's fine, and Endeavor's fine, because he just rebounds off the flames, grabbing Deku's collar, I guess, throwing him at Shigaraki, until Shigaraki finally gets the upper hand and penetrates Deku. He penetrates straight through the armor and his gut, and then pin slaps Deku away, with his gut being open. Then he starts skipping across the ground, slamming into multiple cars and multiple buildings at that. And then Shigaraki tries to go for the Bakugo, because Baku has one for all in this universe. And then, of course, Endeavor runs with him, because not focusing on Deku being slammed into a building, since, he saw him tank. He just assumed he died, because, a gut straight through the stomach, and then thrown through an entire set of cars and buildings. And then Deku in the thing saying, "God damn it. That was so painful." And then he starts healing from the pain. Until Deku grows bat wings from the... And then Deku just starts flying. Don't worry, he's not in his final beast form yet. He just has bat wings now. And then Deku starts flying towards everyone, finding Bakugo, fighting Shigaraki with his explode boom booms, absolutely cleaning up on Shigaraki. Of course, Bakugo has Black Whip and Float already, but he's just using explosions and Float and Black Whip in tangent, like bringing him in, explode, and it's fine. And then Deku just gets in there, surprises Shigaraki in the gut with a gut penetration, and then just tears Shigaraki in half with a black and white screen showing, and blood being the only color you see. And then Shigaraki just immediately shoots himself back to his body, healing immediately. And then Deku appears. Well, obviously Baku, Deku are just pummeling Shigaraki. Rock smashing fist plus explosions. Explosion right hookers. Like hooks. You know how people throw hooks. God dang it, I said the wrong word. I am the worst possible person to tell stories. I should just stop existing, you know what I mean? Because, oh my god, who the frick says the hooker word in a recording? All I was trying to say is him punching the bed of Shigaraki in the mouth, exploding his jaw off. But no, I said the terrible word, and I am sorry. I'm kidding, it's not even that terrible a word. But, like, anyways, Deku is... and Deku is fighting Shigaraki with his rock smashing fist until both of his arms get cut off by Shigaraki, and uh, then Shigaraki disintegrates Deku's uh, armor straight off, which just makes his face exposed. And then people see that it's Deku, the hero hunter, until, Shigaraki then punches Deku in the ribs, destroying every single bone in that body again, and then just goes flying to the ground. Of course, he just lands on his feet, while obviously destroying the armor, and then starts spinning on the ground, breaking every single bone in Deku's body, and his brain too. Old Yujiro Hanma treatment, where you get every single bone broken in your body. And then Deku just passes out, and let's just cut to Bakugo and Endeavor's point of view. So Endeavor saw the Hero Hunter just get fricked up when he remembers he got destroyed by the Hero Hunter. So he gets a bit worried until, he starts fighting Shigaraki again, forgetting all about it again. And then Bakugo and him are just tag teaming in Shoto Todoroki. And then eventually Deku wakes back up. Actually, no, he doesn't wake back up yet. He does not wake up back yet. Not yet. He appears, well, of course, everyone tries to say, until Bakugo's, his bones are all broken, and he's, like, floating in the air, in heavens of pain. And, guess who tries to kill him? Yeah, Shigaraki tries to get him with the black fingies, until, Kirishima blocks it this time, and Kirishima having then he gets increased raw power. He gets increased power. Since Kirishima is more durable than Bakugo, he actually breaks the tendrils. And then Bakugo gets still frustrated at Shigaraki, so he just starts destroying him, like how Deku was doing. And eventually Endeavor tries to put some more pressure in it, until Shigaraki tries escaping, until he gets his head cut off, and no one knows what the frick just happened. Cut a little bit time earlier, before Kirishima jumped in front of him. Deku wakes up, and his body starts shaking rapidly. His bones are creasing, and his hands are growing at a enormous rate. And then Deku just grows to like 10 feet tall. Like, I think he's like All Might size in the manga. Yeah, he's that tall. And then his bat wings, he grows two of, just two of them. And he gets a Pinocchio nose, and then Deku just becomes this absolute giant with very, very sharp claws and very strong powers. And he has bat wings still. And he has tiny bat wings too. And then Deku was just speeding towards Shigaraki, seeing him trying to leave, cutting his head clean off. If you're wondering, Shigaraki's still alive. He's just, his head is off his shoulders. So he tries to get Deku, but Deku just picks him up and just starts flying to the closest the hill he was in when he was, in his, in his sleeping state. And, of course, Shigaraki's head latches onto his body until he sees that Deku is growing in size, like he's starting to vomit. Deku's starting to vomit out this ooze, and then Deku finally evolves to his final beast state, with his forearms and massive bat wings. And then he hits him with the beast smashing fist, and then he actually just hits him Okay, two of his hands are fists, and two of his fists are like Chinese, not Chinese. You know what I mean? Like in the original Rock Smashing Fist, and but with fist this time. Yeah, he just starts pummeling in him very quickly and very easily. And oh, please be quiet. Please be quiet. Okay, we're fine. We're fine. Just ignore it. Just ignore it.
Hey, Mark!
Just ignore it. He's in the bath.
Oh.
Just ignore it, please. Please, just ignore what my. I'm recording a video. Okay.
Hey, Mark.
Alright, just ignore it.
Are those papers done?
Do you want to ignore this, please? Just ignore it, please. Like, it's fine. Don't. It doesn't matter. There ain't no way I'm gonna record this entire part again, so I'm not recording this part again. It sucks. Bye. Yeah. Okay. Ignore all of what I just said. Like, cut that entire scene out of your brain. That moment, it didn't happen. Shut up. It didn't happen. Be quiet. It didn't happen. Alright, never mind. Okay, never mind. Let's just ignore it now. Ignore it. So Deku is now chilling with his Shigaraki's body, slamming his fist into him until he hits into the area, and then he goes so far that he gets into the Earth's crust with like all the the lava, and then just starts melting his own hands and Shigaraki at the same time until he unsockets his human hands. While Shigaraki's body just dissolves. Only Shigaraki's head being there. And Deku just takes it, snaps it off like a spike. Like stabbing one of his finger into him, snapping it off. Into his, neck. And then he snaps off the finger, and then it just regenerates. And then he just throws it really far. And then Deku flies out of the mountain saying he's finally achieved pure monster. And so Deku just starts murdering every single hero there. Obviously, Endeavor catches a head and seeing it's Shigaraki, gets scared, and then Deku appears next to Gigantomachia, tearing off his head without difficulty. And then just appears next to Endeavor, grabbing him and tearing him in half, killing him instantly. And then Deku appears next to Bakugo, who is extremely dead. He just slowly stomps on his head, killing him. He was unconscious for all of this, so oof. Kirishima tries to avenge Bakugo. Deku just punches a hole straight through him, killing Kirishima. And then Deku just murders all of Class 1A and Compress, Toga, Hawks, Tokoyami, Best Genius, who just appeared late. Who didn't appear late, he appeared later in the battle, but he just got here but seeing that Deku was wearing no clothes, tries to contain Deku. Deku just rips out of the constraints and then strangles Best Genius with his massive claw, killing him. And then All Might tries to join the battle with his form, but Deku already knows his weakness. So he just applies pressure from the top and then stabs his hand into his weak spot, turning him weak. Deku throws him away, slamming him into a building. He actually cauterized the wound by using the heat he used from the lava to burn into All Might's side, actually healing him from the wound, but he can't go back into his hero state anymore because Deku just somehow extracted his quirk, but not getting it at the process. That's impressive. So All Might is just struggling in pain trying to get up, and then Deku just starts burning through his society, killing all the inhabitants. And somehow he's just subconsciously missing Koda's house, his grandma's house. And then he just cleans up all of Hero Society. He just Mirako puts up like the best fight anyone's ever did, but she gets her legs snapped and then torn off until she starts running with like only one arm until Deku catches up with her, telling her that this was the best fight he's ever had, then tearing off her head by her ears, killing her. And then, Deku just clears up every single... Well, Aizawa actually deactivates Deku's powers, actually him losing all of his abilities, except for the red hair form, until Deku finds him, who's hiding. Then he grabs his face, gouging out his eyes, which Aizawa just screams in pain, and then gets his head squished. And then he dies. And then Deku finally regains all of his power again. And then finding all the heroes that tried to jump him, like obviously Deku escaped, then just killed all of them with one strike. Then he just starts murdering every single freaking town in Japan. Eventually, the America shows up, and she just starts freaking commanding life. But as you can see, he is way stronger than Shigaraki in the manga now. So, yeah, she eventually gets penetrated through the heart, and getting your head squished. And then she dies. You never get this quirk, lady. You're strong. Basically, the strongest hero ever is dead now, which isn't fair. All the heroes that are the strongest are basically dead now. And then the fighter jets that were with here, they soon get struck down by Deku's pin missile that he uses with his long Pinocchio nose, taking him out with just 2 Pinocchio noses. Then he actually runs into the sea, and then just flies straight through Japan, and then just destroys it entirely, until he sees Koda and his grandma trying to run away, and then he just flies straight for them, fearing for their lives, because they're the only people that he's actually loved. Yes, he says it. These are the only people shown kindness to him, that have been circumstances for them to have, like, good deeds or anything. So Deku just immediately flies, grabbing both of them and saving them. But sadly, it was too late, because guess who he didn't grab without her being already dead by a heart attack. Yeah, Koda's grandma dies, and this really distracts Deku, and Deku starts crying because he killed the grandma. The only reason she had the heart attack actually is because there was a debris going straight for Koda, and she just had a heart attack because she thought he was gonna die. So guess who? He's regretting being a monster now. And then while Japan is sinking into the ground, Deku flies to a nearby island, setting Koda down next to a city. He actually flies to the nearest country, places him down in there, and just at an orphanage, and then flies away. And Deku is crying, thinking of the time the grandma showed him kindness. Then he flies straight into space, and then he starts freezing up, but he just keeps flying faster and faster and faster until his body starts decomposing in, like, disgusting portions, until he flies straight into the sun, burning himself alive, melting, and finally his body is shown, and then he just completely crisp and dies, and turns to ash and then atoms, and then Deku finally dies. Obviously he died way before this, but still. And yeah, pretty quick part for Deku to just get his powers like that. But anyways, like, subscribe, hit the post notification bell. Liking helps with the algorithm. It does. I've seen it. It works. Hitting the subscribe button helps me be more popular, which makes me happy because it shows that people like my content. Hitting the post notification bell helps you know every time I'm going to post one of these. And I think this one went well. Peace, peace, peace.